ladies and gentlemen, welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you very much. Now you don't do, now you don't do. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Welcome to Chat Room with Max, officially the year 2024. Um, First of all, before I begin to say anything about the show, I want to say congratulations, Super Eagles of Nigeria. Una don't win, no, but una try. Una try, shall una try. We give it to you guys. You guys tried. You guys came all the way. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. It's been wonderful. The AFCON match, awesome. But we're here to talk about things that will make you feel better today, because we're going to be talking about the topic we're going to be talking about today is where's this topic? Technician, cue the topic, please. Where's the topic? Okay, good. Okay. Africans and mental illness. I'm not mad in Jesus' name. I am not mad in Jesus' name. That is the topic we're going to be talking about. Africans and mental illness. So join us as we bring in everybody. As you can see, I have a second chair right there. SamSoft. He's feeling bad. He's feeling horrible because of how the match went. But we'll console him when he comes in. First and foremost, I want to introduce to you for the first time this year in 2024, our one and only brother who has been a big part of us in 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make welcome the one, the only Stanley, everybody. Come on.
Hello,
Stanley. Yeah. Welcome, Stanley.
Thank you so much. How are you guys doing?
Happy New Year.
Again. How are you?
Yeah, everybody is good. Everybody is good. How have you been, Stanley? How have you been?
I've been doing well. The year has started. January is gone already.
Yeah.
I had a good start. So here we are. Like yesterday, February is here already.
Yeah. February is here already. Yeah. I'm telling you. So, what do you think about the topic today, Stanley? Africans and mental illness.
It's a great one. It needs to be addressed because it's something that is ongoing. I call it a silent epidemic that nobody wants to agree and admit to, but it's wrecking the people. So it needs to be talked about here.
Yeah, very, very true. Very true. Well, we can't wait to hear all your contributions on this particular topic. We know you're gonna make great contributions to this particular topic. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you to join me as I welcome this special guest. Getting this special guest on the show, it was hard though. It was hard. I had to contact her PA. I had to contact everybody in the office. I was like, please, can you get us this professional so we can have a professional opinion on mental illness? And we want an African that understands the plight of Africans and mental illness. Someone that can speak to the people and the people will listen. And finally, we got her. This lady has a lot of degrees behind her name. But for time's sake, we're going to shorten it. She's a PMHNP, psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner here in the United States of America. She has her own practice. She's doing perfectly fine. Ladies and gentlemen, please, please, please help me make welcome the one, the only, not everybody.
Hello, thanks for having me on, Max.
Welcome to the show,
Yes.
Yeah. Welcome. This is Chat Room with Max, where we tend to speak our minds as rich as possible, say things the way they are, so that people can learn from us, just as we want them to learn from you. So you're welcome once again. Ladies and gentlemen watching from home, please don't forget to text, just type where you're watching us from, and tell us your name so we can say hi to you. We have some messages coming in already. We have Temitope in the house. She's like, hi. She says, happy Sunday. Yes, welcome to the show. We have Jacinta in the house. She says, hi, Minister Max. We lost the game and we are angry about it. So we are mentally disabled right now. I'm sorry, Super Eagles lost. I was rooting for them. Emmanuel Irene is in the house. Python Irene, welcome, welcome, welcome to the show, man. Happy New Year. She says, it's loud now. It's loud now. Not a silent epidemic anymore. Happy Sunday.
Mm,
Mhm.
mm.
Stanley, yeah, I guess that was for you. Rachel says, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, thank you very much, Rachel. Thank you. So, we're gonna begin the show right now. And what my first question is this. Ladies and gentlemen, where are you people? Who are here? Ladies and gentlemen. Yes. So let's begin with our special guest right now, right, Stanley? Let's begin with our special guest, Aminat. Can
Yeah.
you just tell us a little bit about your profession, what you do, so people can get to know you before we kick the ball rolling?
Okay. So, in regards to obviously this show, like I said, thanks for having me on. What I do mostly is I listen to individuals um, as they talk about this, what is going on, why they're upset, why their things are not going the way they're supposed to go. For some people, they're just looking to someone to listen to them and to maybe even engage in like groups or like therapy and get skills as to how can I handle this situation, how can I handle that situation. And for some people who've tried that, they're seeking medication management to support their mood. So that's kind of then where I can go deeper into them. I listen to their symptoms, and from the symptoms where we kind of see, are we going the route of talk therapy or are we going the route of medication?
Hmm. Okay. Thank you very much. So you are African, obviously. Why did you go into psych, the field of psych? Like, why are you in that field? What dragged you there?
Well, it sort of bodes with the topic that you're talking about, mental health, right? We all
Yeah.
have one life to live per se. So I was a nurse for a while, and in reflecting of or in reviewing, like, what do I want to spend the body of my life doing professionally? And is one aspect of it. How would I also support my mental health? How will I, when I look back on life, how will I be happy, in doing what I've chosen to do? So, it took me a little while because there were different, obviously I had different interests in things like that in healthcare, but after working in at bedside or working with clients in this field for almost a decade or so, I decided that this was the route that was going to be more rewarding for me at this
Hmm.
time.
Okay. Wow. Thank you very much for that. So, Mr. Stanley,
Hello.
yes, Africans and mental health, illness. What do you think? Do you think Africans believe in mental health illness? Do you think Africans actually accept the fact that mental health illness is actually there?
Well, um, like I said, I refer to it as a silent epidemic, silent in the sense that it is being masked. And a straight answer to your question is yes, they know that is there.
Hmm.
However, uh, the majority live in denial and do not want to accept it that this is an issue. When you talk mental health or excuse me, mental illness, the picture that comes to mind straight to the African person, or you stream it down to Nigeria,
Yeah.
is the man in the open marketplace with paper bags, tattered clothes tied all over his body, and picking food off the ground. That's what they consider as mental illness. So when you talk and you say, hey, this is something that's prevalent in the society, they look at you like, but I'm wearing clean clothes. I'm talking to you. I'm not
Hmm.
in the streets. I'm not in an open marketplace. So I don't think mental illness is there, but they know it's there because
Hmm.
they act quote unquote out of uh, their normal self every now and then. So yeah, they know that there's mental illness, but they try to mask it, live in denial, use religion to suppress it, and just hope that it'll go away.
Hmm. Okay. I mean, do you want to add anything to it? I see you smiling.
I actually think that you bring up a few good highlights regarding the idea of what does mental health or mental illness look like. They're obviously the visible ones in terms of like presentation, how people dressed and things like that. Like maybe they look unkempt, they're malodorous, things like that. But obviously it's way more than that. It's someone like me, someone like you walk in the streets, we're presentable and things like that, but you don't know what the internal struggles that we're dealing with. And maybe we're able to function, maybe we're obviously able to take a shower, get out of bed, put on clothes, make food because we're being supported with therapy, which is talk, or we're being supported with medication. It obviously comes in different facets right now. It's not just the person you walk by on the street
Mhm.
looking, you know, not looking their best or what have you.
Yeah.
It's others that are also engaging with it silently or more internally.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, everybody watching right now at this point, right? Um, I want you to do what we always do, everybody. Okay, please and please, let's like where we're watching this from. Let's subscribe to that channel. Let's hit the notification tab so you know whenever chat room is on. And lastly, please don't forget to share. Listen, we're bringing good content to you. We're bringing things that would help you help someone do better in life, help you help someone get better in life. So please and please share this content so everybody gets to watch and enjoy what you're watching. Okay. So now my thing is this, guys, where do we think the whole Africans and lack of belief in mental illness comes in? Do we think it's a traditional or cultural thing? Do we think there's a stigma attached to this whole mental illness thing? Like when someone has mental illness, the person is crazy? And especially, please, what are the various kind of mental illness that we see today that are like silent killers in the life of people? What do you think? Let's begin with Amina, the lady in the house.
So I guess let me go back to the first because I think you asked like multiple questions. They're different struggles like we all facing. In terms of mental health, the people who have just, I'm depressed,
Mm,
things like that. Because I have anxiety, um, just more of a baseline diagnosis or things like that. Or people say, or people who when you start getting into the realm of things, maybe have like a borderline personality disorder, or they might have a carry diagnosis of schizophrenia and
mhm,
things like that. Um, is it rooted in tradition? Is it rooted in um how they care about it? Is it rooted in tradition? Is it rooted in spirituality? Because like we're not speaking about for every African country, but at least let's maybe even touch base on one that I think I know a little bit about, which is Nigeria. We believe a lot in religion and things like that. So our God can do it. It is
mm,
well.
mm,
And those are powerful words, and
mhm,
not taken away from them. But God also made the doctors. God also made the providers. God also made the medication. God also made the people you can talk to who can give you more positive, ways of looking at things and things like that. So yes, it is well. God can do it, but we also have people that God has put in place to support, you in your journey.
yeah, I agree. I agree with you. So I want to say this real quick, right?
Mhm.
I was on TikTok the other day, and we were talking, and yeah, I'm a TikToker, okay? I'm on TikTok. Yeah, everybody knows that one. If you are not following me on TikTok, you better go and follow Minister Mex on TikTok, okay? You see all the crazy stuff, all the good stuff, everything, okay? Good, Minister Mex. So I was on TikTok the other day, and this young lady came up, and she was like, "No." Why are you telling me? Why are you telling me I have mental health? Why are you telling me I have mental health? And I was like, my sister, everybody have mental health. Everybody have mental health, but mental illness is different from mental health. Okay, mental illness is different from mental health. Now, at some point, I also think that the church, the church is a way that people get to cope with their mental health, get to care for their mental health, because
Absolutely.
yeah, religion. And I was talking with some people yesterday, and we were talking, and they were like, the reason why mental illness is not officially a huge deal in Africa, especially Nigeria, is because of the fact that people have coping mechanisms. Somebody will go to work, the person is obviously depressed, but the person will go to work, finish from work, go to a bar and drink. Another person will finish from work, go to church and sing and pray. Another person will finish from work. Different strategies, you know. But the thing is, it's there. It's there. My younger sister told me one last week, and she was like, you guys in America, you people have mental health like we have malaria and typhoid. Our own like, mental health is malaria and typhoid. You people own is mental health illness, you know. But why is it that you have more numbers of people? Technically, it looks like you have more numbers of people struggling with a mental health illness in the diaspora versus people struggling with mental health illness in Africa. Why is it so?
Uh,
You can go ahead, Stanley.
well, the biggest the answer to
Sorry,
that
Stanley.
is
You want to sleep that computer by your side. Make it go to sleep. I don't know. Is it possible?
which one?
Is that a
Oh,
TV computer?
oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I can do that.
Yeah, the light is kind of getting into your face
I can
and
do that. Is that
uh
better?
yeah, good.
All
Hmm.
right. So the big part to that is in the West here, it's easily can quickly diagnosed. We have the tools and the
Yeah.
parameters to diagnose it easily, and based on the protocols that they've designed, if the characters that are displayed checks out on all the boxes, then on the scale, then yes, it can be diagnosed easily. Versus back home where it is not. I mean, yeah, as you were speaking, you mentioning people leaving home from work, going to church, and all of that. All of those are called stressors, and these stressors actually could trigger responses
Mm.
internally, mentally, from many people that will make them act out of character. Anything that makes you act out of character can easily trigger an imbalance in your mental health. And if that is sustained for a period of time, then it becomes an illness in that person. But we can easily diagnose those stressors here and put in parameters in place to check them or to relieve them or talk about them, as the
Mm.
specialist here is saying, or use medication to get reliefs, but over there at home, it's not. You have to cope. You have to find a way to get by it. And if you don't see medication or have someone to talk to, the church or religion is the next place to go to, where they tell you, oh, it's okay, everything is going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Don't speak about it. Don't confess it. Don't accept it. Are you mentally ill? No, you're not. And so on and so forth. But
Yeah.
it's still being maxed. So yeah, we diagnose it easily because we have skills and parameters that are put in place to check them
Hmm.
based on characters that are being displayed. Over there, they don't have these tools that they could use.
Okay, thank you. Aminat, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I think i- there maybe because we don't speak about it as much. I do know there's, just a quick search online, you can see different like NGOs, or like maybe different places, like sort of, trying to advocate more regarding resources that are available and things like that. And yes, going to church, listening to music, dancing. I mean, those are great coping skills and whatnot. So if you're able to, if that's what you have, around you as your resource, your
Mm,
support resource and things like that, yes. But when that isn't enough, I know God is great, don't get me wrong, but when that isn't enough, or when you need more than just, the music, than just the
mhm.
dancing, than just the community, you need some other resources and things like that. And just speaking out about it and seeking professional help, obviously, it could is helpful.
Yeah.
Teaching hospitals, the things like that, that have psychiatry departments in different countries, African countries, that can support individuals in that. Or your general hospital might even have a great psychiatry department as well.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Everybody watching from Instagram, thank you very much for joining. Thank you for joining. Please share the video. And for everybody watching on YouTube and on Facebook, please and please let's share so that everybody can see what we're talking about, because these are contents that is very, very helpful. It will help you save a life. Because at the end of the day, your friend, someone you know, might actually be suffering from one undiagnosed mental health disorder or the other. We have a lot of them. I mean, I will actually give all those examples when the time is right. But in the meantime, let's take some comments so that we can make sure everybody is being heard. We have Nini Doge from, she says bye. We have Emeka. Emeka says Happy New Year, guys. Welcome, Happy New Year, bro. We have Rachel in the house. She says religion is major when it comes to the acknowledgement of mental illness. They want to pray and fast it away. God is a miracle worker, but He also has given people the wisdom to fix these things. Yes. She also says the culture part is the stigma that comes with it. We can't deny the fact that even in America, people dealing with mental illnesses are being stigmatized too. Very, very true. I agree with you on that. She also says the difference in America is there are laws against discrimination of people with disabilities of any kind. That's that's the only thing that makes the stigmatization a bit silent, which is also true. She furthermore says, also, how many psychiatrists do we have in Nigeria? How many therapists are there? How much do they make? And what resources are available for them to do their jobs? Very, very true. Again, Jacinta says, my country's mental illness is called is
Evil
called
spirits.
evil spirits. They beat you till you are delivered. Huh. Yeah, way. Well, actually, I've seen that happen. Flog you, flog you, flog you. You know, Rachel says religious leaders should also do better by letting their followers know that it's okay to seek help from professionals while continuing with praying and fasting. Hmm. And then let's take this comment. Chioma Precious is in the house. Welcome, welcome, Chioma. So let's actually hang on this particular comment. Do you guys ever seen religion and psychiatry working hand in hand in Africa? Do you guys see that happening? Who wants to take it
Well, let
first?
me be forward think. Let me be forward thinking and say I don't see why it shouldn't work. When you're, even because psychiatry is the same thing as your, it's not the same thing. Is also an illness, like somebody saying they have a cardiac issue, they have a kidney issue, let's raise funds. They have y- they broke their leg, they need a cast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those might be more visible illnesses, but it's still an illness. So if your pastor or if your spiritual leader breaks their leg or breaks her leg, they're going to seek medical care for it. If they
Mm.
have a cardiac issue, they're going to do the same. If they need a kidney transplant, the church will pray, pray, pray. That's fine. But also, they might look for a match. So
Okay.
if you're seeking care for those things, you should be able to seek care for the other.
Mm.
Well, I think that both of them they complement each other, because if you look at this issue of mental illness, it's not a one-way street. There's the scientific part of it and the spiritual part of it. A lot of the mental illnesses that we have on both ends of the globe, as a result of different factors. There are factors over here that results in what cascades to becoming mental illness
Mm.
that stays. In Africa, there's the spiritual component of it. I've heard people say they could conjure one or two things that could make someone go crazy that
Mm.
is normal maybe 2 minutes ago. So if the church and science or psychiatry work hand in hand, science and psychiatry at this point can only go so much. You know, where they can't do it through talk or medicine, I think the church plays a role there. I give you an example. In fact, I was talking to my wife about this a few days ago. There was a case that I saw personally. It's the lady's from Haiti, I believe. Uh, Haiti, yeah. She was brought to the hospital, and I'm sure you guys know this. In the emergency rooms, they have restricted areas where they keep psych patients and could
Mhm.
restrain them, have security stand by, and watch them to make sure they don't cause any harm to themselves and so on. But when this lady was brought in, she was screaming at the top of her voice, "No, no, don't give me medicine. Don't give me medicine, please. I don't need medicine. No, no, they are here. They are here. I can see them. They're
Mm.
trying to get me. Call pastor. Is there a pastor here? Please call a pastor." And the doctor at first did not understand what was going on. He was kind of thrown off that she's talking the way she is. And he ordered some meds, and the lady was screaming, "Please don't, please don't. It's not going to work. They are here." And one of the nurses who was there was like, "Hey, doc, I think we need to listen. Let's call the chaplain and see what will happen." And they called the chaplain in. Believe you me, he told the chaplain, "Please, please pray for me. Pray for me. They are here. I need prayers. It will push them away."
Mm.
And the chaplain prayed with her. The lady slept like a baby. So the question there is, if medication had been
Administered.
administered, that's the right word,
Mhm.
administered at that point, it really would not have given an idea as to what the problem is. And believe you me, she didn't even get on any meds that day. The docs were like, "Okay, this is beyond what medicine can do." And she agreed that yes, it's spiritual. Something happened at some point in
Yeah.
our own country. So yeah, science and what do you call it? Religion can work hand in hand with reference to mental illness and how it can be either managed or treated.
Okay. So from that story that you just said, what I based on the world of psych where I'm based professionally, I mean I will also smile when I say this. What I had pretty much is psychosis going on. Abi Aminat. We're having audio and visual hallucination at that point. Now, at what point do we now separate demonic attacks like witches and wizard from actual psychosis or mental health illness? At what point do we separate that? I mean that.
I actually think that was a great example of an ER. I'm surprised they were able to get the chaplain to come just in time. Um, it's great to see that the providers they were very tolerant. I think that's good. I would be more interested also to see what the next day and the next days
Yeah.
of that client's care was and things like that, because when it gets to the stage, by the time she got to that stage, by the time she needed to visit the ER, there was a deep safety concern
Mhm.
and whatnot. So I think there might just be more, a little bit more to that story. But I'm glad they were able to listen to her and get her the, the spiritual care that she asked for. But I will be also curious to see what the subsequent days was like.
Okay, Stanley, that was a perfect example. You wanted to say something. Go ahead, sir.
Right. I was going to say the 12-hour shift that I ran that day. For most time, I spent observing the lady and saw how she slept through the night. And by morning, of course, I was gone. I wasn't sure what happened next, so I don't have that detail. But what I took from that and subsequent stories that I've heard, read about, watched on TV. Uh, Sometimes medicine, and you guys are the expert, but what I've seen in this thing is medicine to to a great extent may not help in situations like this. You ask how it can be identified, Yeah, it's a very thin line. If you could have the person, if you could get them to tell you what happened, if they know, was it due to drug abuse? Was
Mm.
it a spiritual issue? The
Mhm.
reason why they listened to that lady a great deal was her history says that she's from Haiti. It is understood that there's a whole lot of spiritual stuff of that nature that goes on,
Some voodoo stuff. Yeah.
voodoo stuff that go on there. So it made sense to the docs at that point to say, you know what, let's give it a shot. Bring the chaplain in and see what happens. So yeah, medicine helps, but there needs to be a place where you should be able to, if you can have the patient identify, if they have that knowledge of what went wrong and where it went wrong, it will help to treat the person or figure out what kind of treatment the person would need to help them overcome or manage that situation. And I've
So
also seen, believe you me, I'll end with this. And Max, I'm sure you know this. In Nigeria, for cases that are related to spiritual stuff, somebody went to a native doctor and got some concoction, threw it out in the air or put it out there, they walked past it or whatever, however it was, that the person started acting out of character and is considered crazy, they still can go back to reverse it
yeah,
and they get better.
Stanley. While you were talking, I wanted to say, I dare want to say, okay, so this is my own opinion. Sometimes, right, prayers does to a person what medication does sometimes. And let me tell you why. The reason why we experience some certain mental illness problems or issues is because of some chemical imbalance in the brain. Some of them. Abby, I mean, do you agree with that one?
I hear you.
Uh-huh. Now, when you pray, for someone who is very, very spiritual, that believes so much in prayer, when you pray, you your body might be activating some chemical responses that will flood one part of the brain that is lacking in some chemicals to go and compensate for what is lacking. But at some point, I'm like, when is it okay? Are we actually fixing the major problem, or are we just temporarily putting tape over a water faucet that will end up leaking again? Let's take some comments before we continue. Before I read these comments, please and please, everybody, let's keep doing what we're doing. Do not forget to like where you're watching this from. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Do not forget to hit the notification tab so you know just when we're on. And lastly, please share, 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 share. Don't be stingy, okay? Share this, share this, share this. All right, let's take some comments right now. Where did we stop with the comment? Okay, right here. Dupe says stigma is a big issue. Stigma is a big issue, which I agree with. Temitope says it's a lack of awareness around mental health and the stigma that comes with it. Religion slash beliefs and culture also play a huge part. That is the reason that is the reason we all need to make more awareness about it, which is true, and I agree with it. Rachel says it should work together. That's religion and psychiatrics. Yeah, I hear psychiatrists ask patients about their religion or what supreme being they believe in because they recognize that it's also a coping mechanism. True. Rachel also says, I think psychiatrists know both should and can walk hand in hand, but the religion that Africans follow doesn't seem to accept that both can walk hand in hand. They say God doesn't need men's help to work. Mm. She also says even some pastors have mental illness, but will claim it's God speaking to them. Plenty, then plenty. God says you should eat sand, soap, and bleach, and the people say it's God telling them to do it. Ha 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 ha. Look where furthermore says, ignorance is even more. Any visible signs of mental instability is constructed to be madness. This is not so or true. A friend told me just today that if a mad person bites one, if a mad person bites a person, that person becomes mad. Wow. Emeka is in the house. He says, we need awareness. Religion and culture is here to stay, which I agree with. So let's talk about the stigma, guys. Let's talk about the stigma of a thing. Okay. Do we think that the stigma is what's affecting people from seeking help? And do we think that what do we think can be done to like help people not stigmatize others?
Well, the idea obviously of stigma is, this just what we're doing right now. We're talking about it. We're saying it's okay to need extra support with your mental health. It's okay to be a little bit different. It's okay to, go to church afterwards and dance and sing. It's okay to call up, go to a doctor and get, medication. It's okay to talk to somebody through your mental needs. It's okay to not be okay, but you have to, use whatever you have as your supports in order to hopefully engage in the type of life that you visualize for yourself.
Hmm. Wow. Okay, Stanley.
Well, I think that everybody need to know this and accept, accept the fact that we all have a tendency to go crazy at some
Oh
point
yeah.
or the
Oh
other.
yeah.
It's commonly said that everybody has what, a 5 minute crazy period that they act on every day or every so often in 24 hours. So look, the point is this: yes, education is a great key aspect that needs to be uh, invested on, and that use that to raise awareness. The fact that you're diagnosed well, with some sort of imbalance physiologically in your body that could trigger some sort of hormonal or chemical imbalance in your brain and make you act in ways that are not characteristics of you doesn't mean that you are crazy.
Yep.
uh, there are stressors that make these things come out, and the degree of expression of your uncharacterized nature would tell if you are having or on the pathway to having a mental illness.
Hmm.
I tell you the joke. There's a story back home in Warri those days. There was we used to walk this pathway to schools, like little grass here, little grass here. It's a tiny pathway, and there was this, excuse me, there was this guy who, and I wanted to use the word mad, but recall that. There was this guy whom everybody considered as a mentally ill guy
Hmm.
that was walking down the street on the small pathway that only one person can go through. And there's this guy on a tie and suit, about to walk the same way, both of them going to go past each other. Now, it was expected that the guy that is imbalanced would step out of the way and let the quote unquote normal guy go past. But both of them seemed to hold back and not want to give way. And when they got close to each other, the guy on the suit jumped off the way and ran. And the guy that they considered as mad turned around, looked at him, and said, Chris man. So the guy on the suit was like, wait a minute, did this madman just call me madman?
Mm.
Because we refused to give each other the right of way on that little footpath. So, in terms of awareness, we need to know that the fact that they say, oh, well, you might have some issues that are kind of like throwing you off mentally
Yeah.
a little bit doesn't mean that they are crazy. They can get help. It's a matter of identifying what that stressor is that
Yeah.
is making that to happen and avoid it. Do away with it or find a way to manage it if you can. But we cannot stigmatize each other and say, oh, the doctor say this guy is crazy or has some sort of mental issues. Then it becomes a stigma. No, it's that traditional part of it again. Like we said in the beginning, if we have the tools and the resources to be able to characterize this mental imbalance at the different levels and degree of expressions that they are, it will help the doctors to do their diagnosis so that
True.
they don't just throw it on the person and say, I think you have mental illness. That's
Yeah.
a big one, you know.
Okay. I mean, do you want to add anything to what he said?
In terms of stigma and the likes, like you did touch on, Stanley. Education obviously, plays a huge part. Awareness plays a huge part. Stressors are huge as well, because that's when, let's say, using your example of the person in the suit, they might not, like, have the back in it, what some people might consider the visual presentation of a person that has a mental health concern. But the person in the suit, the person well dressed, might be having stresses like difficulty paying, their business might just have gone bankrupt. They might be having issues paying for their children's school fees. They're the main breadwinner in the family. So how am I going to get the money for the light bill?
Yeah.
How am I going to get money for the children's school fees?
Mm.
How am I going to get the money to pay the driver? So, but if they cannot take a few steps back and be like, okay, yes, I don't have the money now. How can I, you know, now looking at what I have, and how can I use that to hopefully get what I need, then that becomes all they're thinking about. That overwhelms their thought. They cannot sleep. If you cannot sleep, you're not able to process your thoughts properly. You're not eating. That affects your mood, goes down and things like that. And then some people end up making irrational decisions and unsafe decisions at that time, and not realizing that, okay, it's okay to not have the money right now. It's okay to not have the whole money for your child's school fees. Can I call the principal of the school and be like, can I give you part of the money now, work on the other part later? So just realizing that, yes, we all have stressors,
Yeah.
but how do we, cope with those stressors so they
Hmm.
don't overpower our thoughts and immobilize us?
Okay, let's breeze through some comments right now. We have Emeka. He says, "And we need an awareness. Religion and culture is here to stay." We've taken this. Jacinta says, "Facebook don't want me. Oh, to remove my comment or my account will be restricted. What
What is
did
she
you
right?
write? Like, send it to me on WhatsApp. What did you write? We need to see that." Emeka says they will continue to contradict the world of psych problems. Of this, yeah. Alexandra is in the house. Alexandra Clement. We need to do something about it. Yes, we do. Alexandra also says, I agree. Dupa says, stigma certainly prevents people seeking treatment. Ignorance compounds it. Each and every one of us should educate and enlighten that mental illness is just like any other condition. I agree with that. So, guys, this is what this is what I want to suggest. Me and
Yes.
Stanley, of course, we do this every week. This is what I want to suggest, right? You've come on, and I believe the people love you.
No, thanks for having me.
You've taught us a lot. But this is what I want to recommend or suggest. I want us to come back next week to have a part 2 of this particular topic. But this time around, we're going to zoom into some mental illnesses that people actually don't understand. Things like anxiety, things like depression, things like just name them, all these little things. We want to teach people how to understand this diagnosis and live with them. Mind you, guys, we're not diagnosing you, but we're just teaching. So if you have this friend that when they think about something, their heart begins to beat fast, they begin to sweat, they begin to shake, they begin to, like, their chest becomes tight, they cannot breathe, send this video, send that invitation to all of them, because next week, Aminat, with your permission, are you going to be here? I'm sorry, I don't want to just robe you in. Are you going to be here?
Let's talk.
Just tell us now, so that if you don't want people to verse with you, you don't want to verse with you. Just tell them, because it's important that people understand that when you hear mental illness, doesn't mean you've gone into full-blown psychosis, that you're running on the road crazy. No.
I think that's important. Yeah. It's important to know that you can have a functional job. Mm-hmm. You can be a nurse, you can be a CEO of a company, you can be a construction worker.
Yeah, you can live your life
anything perfectly. And be managed and have, need some support if it's talk therapy, need to go to church and dance and music and things like that. Yeah. Or you can be managed, with medication. It really depends at the end of the day. You must have your coping skills down.
True. And then we're going to also talk about things like things that happened in your childhood that you actually think that you've forgotten about, but it's still creeping up and affecting you. So, are you going to be here next week?
It's on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
There's no
match. No match. No football match. AFCON is over. We're not going to start late. We're going to start at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
African match.
No African match. They have lose. But they tried, Cha. Yeah.
Yes. Congratulations. What's their name? Super Eagles.
Yeah. Super Eagles.
You guys did great.
Yeah, you guys did great. So, guys, please, Mr. Stanley. Yeah. Of course, I believe you are going to be here next week.
Yeah.
Well. So please, guys, next week, join us at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's our time here in Boston. And then I think it's 10 p.m. Nigerian time. Just factor in, if you are in Dubai or these other places, factor in what time it is in your country, and join us live as we talk about how to deal with depression, anxiety, PTSD, and childhood trauma. Oh my God, childhood trauma. A lot of us have childhood trauma. A lot of Stanley, did you have childhood trauma?
We could not go there, big.
Stanley should not go there. Okay.
We'll not get her.
You see? So we will be talking about how this impacted you, how it just shaped you into what you are, and how you can get out of how you can manage your anxiety and your depression, especially. Okay, so guys, thank you very much for coming on the show. Thank you
for having me.
We appreciate you. Of course, Stanley, thank you. You're the best as always. We shall continue this particular series next week. Same time, same place, live in Chat Room with Max. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been real. Thank you very much. As you can see, my second chair is empty. SamSoft, we're going to find him for not showing up today. We're going to find him. Because of Super Ego match, he decided to just be depressed. Maybe I'll send him to Aminat so Aminat can, do some therapy for him.
Right.
And prescribe some things. And I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying SamSoft is mad in Jesus' name. No, I'm not like that. For people go and report me. Anyway, Sha, Thank you very much. It's been real. We shall catch you same time, same place next week. See ya.